The tree with the golden scar. Lev had been allowed to walk to the old forest gate by himself, and he carried that permission as carefully as a cup filled to the brim. The afternoon smelled of pine needles, damp bark, and the little metal lunchbox swinging against his knee. He wanted to prove that he could notice trail marks, remember turns, and come home before the first evening bird called. Beyond the gate, the path bent between ferns and mossy stones until the houses behind him became only a pale square of sky. Then Lev heard rough laughter near a hollow stump, followed by a wet, sticky slap that did not sound like any forest sound at all. He crept closer and saw two older boys crouched beside the roots of an enormous tree, spreading black tar from a dented bucket across the living wood. The tree towered above them, with branches wide enough to hold the whole afternoon, and a golden scar ran down its trunk like a line of captured sunlight. Its roots did not lie still like ordinary roots. They rose and dipped under the leaves, making little bridges and tunnels where beetles crossed. The older boys were not cutting the tree, but the tar looked wrong and heavy, sealing the roots under a shiny black skin. One boy laughed that they were making a monster mark, while the other smeared a thick stripe over a place where pale root fibers gently moved. Lev's stomach tightened because he was smaller than both of them and had no wish to be chased through the brambles. Still, the tree gave a faint shudder, and 3 golden seeds dropped soundlessly beside his shoe. Lev remembered the wooden forest rattle hanging from the ranger post near the gate, the one used to call volunteers during trail work. He had picked it up earlier because its handle felt smooth and important, and now he gripped it with both hands. Hiding behind the hollow stump, he struck the rattle against the dry wood. Clack, 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 sharp as a warning. Then he called in his deepest voice. "Ranger Signe is coming up the east path." The sound bounced between the trunks, louder than Lev expected, and a jay startled from the branches with a scolding cry. The older boys dropped the tar brush, grabbed their bucket, and ran so fast that black drops spotted the leaves behind them. For a moment, Lev heard only his own breathing and the small tick of tar sliding down the root. Then the golden scar on the trunk brightened, not like fire, but like warm honey held to a window. 2 eyes opened in the bark, deep and amber and very tired, and the great tree said, "Small walker, you have given me a breath." Lev nearly sat down in the moss, but the voice was gentle and old, older than the path stones and softer than rain. "My name is Velimir," said the tree, "and I have guarded these root roads since the first squirrel forgot where it buried breakfast." That made Lev laugh before he could stop himself, and Velimir's leaves trembled with a sound very much like laughter too. Velimir explained that the black tar had covered 3 breathing roots, and one of them led toward the spring that kept the forest paths clear. If the tar hardened before sunset, The root roads would twist in confusion, and even careful walkers might find themselves circling the same fern patch until dark. Lev wanted to scrape the tar away at once, but Velimir warned him that sticky tar needed grown-up tools, gloves, and patience. Instead, the tree lowered a narrow root like a railing and asked Lev to follow the golden seeds to the ranger station. The forest changed as Lev walked. Moss puffed under his shoes, roots lifted leaves aside, and tiny seed lights blinked ahead like quiet lanterns. Whenever he grew nervous, Velimir whispered through the leaves, "One step, then notice. Another step, then choose." At the ranger station, Signe was sorting maps when Lev burst in with tar on one sleeve and the story tumbling out of him. She did not laugh at the talking tree part, which made Lev like her immediately. She only took a pair of gloves, a wooden scraper, a cloth bag of sand, and a small bottle of safe citrus cleaner from the trail repair shelf. "Some people think a prank disappears when they run away," Signe said, "but the forest remembers where help came from." Together, they hurried back, following the seed lights that winked under fern tips and over stones. When Signe saw the golden scar brighten in greeting, she bowed her head as if meeting an old neighbor across a fence. Cleaning the roots took longer than scaring away the boys, and Lev learned that saving something was often slower than stopping the first harm. Signe loosened the tar, while Lev sprinkled sand where she pointed, and Velimir hummed through the roots to keep them steady. The last patch had seeped into a crack near the spring path, so Lev had to crawl under a low arch of roots and pass Signe the dropped brush with 2 careful fingers. As the black smear lifted, water began to murmur somewhere underground, and the root road straightened with a satisfied stretch. Golden seeds rose from the moss and spun around Lev's knees, lighting the safe way back to the main trail. Velimir thanked Signe for her hands and thanked Lev for his noticing, which made him stand a little taller without trying. By sunset, the tree's golden scar glowed softly instead of sharply, and the forest seemed to breathe in long, peaceful waves. Slow, measured pacing, very warm, intimate tone, subtle dynamics, deep, rich, resonant voice. Signe promised to speak with the boys and their families and to put a proper sign near the great tree, explaining why old roots must never be painted, sealed, or used for games. Lev sat on a root that had become a comfortable bench, sharing the last biscuit from his lunchbox, while Velimir told him which mushrooms looked like umbrellas but were terrible at keeping rain off anyone. Before Lev went home, the tree bent 1 twig low and placed a single golden seed in his palm. "Come walking again," Velimir said, "not because the forest needs rescuing every day, but because friends should not meet only during trouble." From then on, whenever Lev reached the old forest gate, 1 golden leaf would turn in the wind, and he would know that somewhere under the path his ancient friend was smiling.